Yashodanandana Bracha Janaranjana Yashodanandana Bracha Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jai Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Prahlad Lakshman Singade Bhagavan Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Chaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, so welcome. Wie sprechen wir denn? How do we speak? Huh? Wie? English. You're the guest, so you make the decision. So wer versteht kein Englisch? Shamarasa, Kishori Kund. Yeah, the rest is anyway. So somehow we have to Wenn ihr euch zusammensetzt, und ich gebe euch schon mal das deutsche Caitanya Caritamrita. Ich will mal, vielen Dank, also ich habe gerade Sanjay Prabhu übersetzt. Es ist eine Frage. Aha, okay. Dann Applaus für Sanjay Prabhu, weil das ist eine der schwierigsten Aufgaben zu übersetzen, ja, das Deutsche. Und das ist die Devotees, die diese Verantwortung übernehmen und zu übersetzen, die sollten auf alle Fälle zu denen sie übersetzen, sollten sie Mahasandesh oder irgendwas bekommen. So very grateful for those who translate, because it makes it much more easier. And somehow or other we are always in Simhachalam, we always in between German and English. Sorry. Okay. So we reading from the Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita, and we starting with chapter 22, the process of devotional service. And first we read the how to say, the introduction in this chapter by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Chapter 22, this is Madhya Lila, the process of devotional service. In this 22nd chapter, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes the process. Did you check if the microphone works? Did you hear it from the live stream? Because sometimes in the live stream it sounds terrible. We had this for Sri Manchari, it was, in the live stream it was not working, and we found out it's maybe the cable of the, super. Yesterday Muni had this Funk microphone, maybe okay, check it on the screen maybe. In this 22nd chapter, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the process of devotional service. In the beginning, he describes the truth about the living entity and the super excellence of devotional service. He then describes the uselessness of mental speculation and mystic yoga. In all circumstances, the living entity is recommended to accept the path of devotional service as personally explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The speculative method of the so-called Jnanis is considered a waste of time, and that is proven in this chapter. An intelligent person should abandon the process of Karmakanda, Jnanakanda, and mystic yoga. One should give up all these useless processes and take seriously to the path of Krishna consciousness. In this way, one's life will be successful. If one takes to Krishna consciousness fully, even though he may sometimes be agitated due to having previously practiced mental speculation and yogic mysticism, he will be saved by the Lord Krishna himself. The fact is that devotional service is bestowed by the blessings of a pure devotee, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. A pure devotee is the supreme transcendentalist, and one has to receive his mercy for one's dormant Krishna consciousness to be awakened. One has to associate with pure devotees. If one has firm faith in the words of a great soul, pure devotional service will awaken. In this chapter, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has differentiated between a pure devotee and others. He also describes the characteristics of a pure devotee. A devotee's most formidable enemy is association with women in enjoying spirit. Also not with women in general, but with women in an enjoying spirit, who like to enjoy men. Association with non-devotees is also condemned because it is also a formidable enemy on the path of devotional service. One has to fully surrender under the lotus feet of Krishna and give up attraction for materialistic women and non-devotees. The 6 symptoms of fully surrendered souls are also described in this chapter. Devotional service has been divided into 2 categories: regulative devotional service, and spontaneous love. There are 64 items listed in regulative devotional service, and out of these 64, the last 5 are considered very important. By practicing even one of the 9 processes of devotional service, one can become successful. Speculative knowledge and mystic yoga can never help one in devotional service. Pious activities, non-violence, sense control, and regulation are not separated from devotional service in this pure form. If one engages in devotional service, all good qualities follow. One does not have to cultivate them separately. Spontaneous devotional service arises when one follows a pure devotee who is awakened to spontaneous love of God. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described the symptoms of devotees who are already situated in spontaneous love of God. He has also described the devotees who are trying to follow in the footsteps of the pure devotees. Okay, now we have text number 1. Is this one? Yeah. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tvam Karunavaram Kalau Api Ati Gudeyam Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. Okay. Vandeham Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Devam Tam Karunanavam. Devam Tam Karunanavam. Kalo Api Ati Gudeyam. Kalo Api Ati Gudeyam. Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. Please chant.
Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Devam Tam Karunanavam. Devam Tam Karunanavam. Kalapapi Ati Gudeyam.
Kalo Api Gadi Gudeyam.
Bhaktir Yena Prakashita.
Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Devam Tam Karunanavam. Kalo Api Gadi Gudeyam. Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. Ladies. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Devam Tam Karunanavam. Kalo Api Ati Gudeyam. Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Devam Tam Karunanavam. Kalo Api Ati Gudeyam. Bhaktir Yena Prakashita. Vande. I offer my respectful obeisances. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Unto Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tam. Unto him. Karuna Arnavam. Who is an ocean of mercy. Kalo. In this age of Kali. Api. Even. Ati. Very. Gudha. Confidential. Iyam. This. Bhakti. Devotional service. Yena. By whom? Prakashitaha. Manifested. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is an ocean of transcendental mercy, and although the subject matter of Bhakti Yoga is very confidential, he has nonetheless manifested it so nicely, even in this age of Kali, the age of quarrel. Wir haben keinen Purport dazu. So gehen wir weiter zu Text 2. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Aita Kailun Saman... Eda Kailam Sambandam Tatvera Vichara Veda Shastra. I have difficulties to come out of the Bhagavad Gita again. Eda Kailam Samanda Tatvara Vichara Veda Shastre Upadesha Krishna Ekashara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I have described one's relation with Krishna in various ways. This is subject matter of all the Vedas. Krishna is the center of all activities. So to whom speaks Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here? To whom he is speaking? Still. Remember from the last chapter? Yep, super. Sanatana Goswami, yes. Sorry, no, I messed it up. Okay. Ebekahi Shuna Abideya Lakshana Yahe Haite Pai Krishna Krishna Premadana. Now I should speak about the characteristics of devotional service by which one can attain the shelter of Krishna and his loving transcendental service. Verse number 5. Krishna Bhakti Abideya Savashastikaya Ata Eva Munigana Kari Yache Nishchaya. A human being's activities should be centered only about devotional service to Lord Krishna. That is the verdict of all Vedic literatures, and all saintly people have ascertained this. Okay, now it's weiter. Shruti Mata Prishta Dishati Bhavat Aradena Vidim Yada Mato Vani Smriti Abhitata Vakti Bhagini Purananda Ye Va Sahacha Niva Haste Dat Anuga Ata Satyam Kyanam Murahara Bhavan Eva Sharanam. When the mother Vedas, Shruti, is questioned as to whom to worship, she says that you are the only Lord and worshipable object. Similarly, the choralities of the Shrutis, of the Shruti Shastras, the Smriti Shastras, give the same injunctions. Just like sisters, the Puranas, which are like brothers, follow in the footsteps of their mother. O enemy of the demon Mura, the conclusion is that you are the only shelter. Now I have understood this in truth. This is a quotation from the Vedic literatures, was spoken by great sages. Advaya Kiyane Tattva Krishna Savayam Bhagavan Svarupa Shakti Rupe Tanre Haya Avastanam. Krishna is the non-dual absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he is one, he maintains different personal expansions and energies for his pastimes. And here we have a purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord has many potencies, and he is non-different from all these potencies. Because the potencies are the potent, and the potent cannot be separated. They are identical. Krishna is described as the source of all potencies, and he is also identified with the external potency. The material energy. Krishna also has internal potencies or spiritual potencies, which are always engaged in his personal service. His internal potency is different from his external potency. Krishna's internal potency and Krishna himself, who is potent and are always identical. Om Agnanati Manasya Knananchana Shalakya Chakshu Umidam Yena Tasmai Shikirave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadam Ayam Dadati Swaparandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Spadakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sikharacharam Sahakana Rakodadam Tam Tam Shivam Sadvaidam Savadutam Parichana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Vadan Sahakana Lalita Shri Vishikanmyam Shah Shri Nishinga Jai Nishinga Praladesha Chaya Patma Mukha Patma Bringa Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now explaining to Sanatana Goswami the process of devotional service. And as he describes here, he basically gives two paths. Who remembers which kind of two paths do we have? What are the two tracks where our bhakti train is rolling on? Well, yeah, it goes to this. One time is regulated devotional service, and the other one is spontaneous. And regulated devotional service is basically given by the acharyas to regulate us, as the word says it already, to regulate us and our habits, our eternal attachment to this material world. Because the material world is very regulative. It regulates us very strongly, actually. We think we are free, but actually we're so much dependent on the rules of the laws of nature. Right? Who can just stop sleeping? Even in Bhagavatam class. Who can stop sleeping? Basically not possible, right? And one point we have to go on the charger, right? And the charging station. Everybody has this charging station, except the Goswamis. They chose every day a new plug. But most of us, we have a charging station, a resting station. And it works because we get up and we feel refreshed, right? Ready, the battery is charged again. So, and when we rested, what happens then to us? We become what? Normal person. They become active again, right? We can't, we can lay for long time in bed. I don't know if someone has this experience, but in one point, you have to get up because it's just too boring. Your body cannot take laying down anymore, right? It has to get up, has to do some movement. So we have to follow this. And today's Ekadasi is, of course, always the question, okay, what to eat on Ekadasi? Or even if to eat. Some people, oh no, Ekadasi, best to fast. But how long you can be without eating, especially us coming from such a background where basically non-eating is a sign of poverty. I mean, I'm raised in a post-war family. So there was the main focus was to put food on the table, because my parents still experienced starvation, poverty. So that was very important, to always put some food on the table. So we have to eat. Our body demands it in one point. And when we eat, then what? After you ate? And then what? Sleep. And then? You wake up, and then? Because you were full? You go on the toilet, yes. So it's very regulated. Most of us, they have a regulated time when they go to the toilet, when the stomach is calling. You can basically put your watch on this. Oh, you ate something or you whatever, you have to go to the toilet, right? So there's so many regulations what material nature is putting on us, right? And we are very much conditioned to these regulations. Now, when we come in contact with devotional service, we have to get some regulations in that process, because these regulations, they're very, very important to us. They basically transfer our material regulations into spiritual regulations. We have to eat, so we eat what? We eat Krishna Prasadam, yeah. Yeah, we go off slow in a Krishna conscious way. Now, so this is basically a very important step. And our acharyas, or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this chapter, he will give us some guidelines for regulated devotional service. But the other path, what is given, is the spontaneous devotional service. Now, how does function? What do you think? How does spontaneous devotional service function? Everybody just do what we want for Krishna. Or? Huh? Yeah, but how you know what is spontaneous? Well, how you know what is spontaneous devotional service? Muni. Yes, from inhabitants of Vrindavan. That is one path. But our principle is, first of all, to get regulated, and then after we get the regulations, then we go into spontaneous. It becomes more and more spontaneous, because first of all, we have to somehow or other get a training in devotional service. We have to learn to cook before we can spontaneously cook for Krishna. Because otherwise, what would we cook? Spontaneously? What we would like, right? So spontaneously, Krishna would only get pasta and cheese for me, or? But would that be devotional service? No. First of all, we have to be, wow. Okay. That's me. Murai just painted me. Although, maybe the goal is for Murari, he wanna drive tractor. He wanna drive with 4 wheels. But first of all, he has to learn how to drive with 2 wheels. Right? First he learned to drive bicycle, and then he learned to drive on a tractor. It's basically good first to get some education, some general understanding what is devotional service according to regulative principles. Like I always give the example, if you want to learn an instrument, like you want to learn to play a trumpet, right? First of all, you have to learn how to play the trumpet, right? If you just go, I don't know, anybody of you play the trumpet? What are instruments you play? Midang, yeah, super. Okay, any other instruments like midanga, harmonium? Anybody knows some violin or something like that? Flute. Okay, if you take let's say a violin, because it's a very violent instrument, you know. If you take this instrument and just scratch with the bow on the instrument, what would happen? Would it sound like you will attract the love out of somebody? No, right? But if you experienced violinist, huh? Like we have in when you go to Italy or a classical Italian restaurant, you go with your paramour, you know, and then in one point there comes this, you know, and he plays beside of you, and he thinks it's very attractive. You just want to speak to this person you came from. Maybe it's a business talk, and then he comes and plays. Till you give him something, then he goes. So, you know, if you want to play instrument, first of all, you have to learn how to play the instrument, right? And after you play the instrument, you learn all this thing. You know, you learn all this letters, do 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 do, and you have to play this all the time. Your teacher tell you no again and again and again. Right? And then you play standards. You play classical standards. For example, when you play acoustic guitar, nowadays you should know how to play Stairway to Heaven. Or it's like, has to come. Huh? You learn all these different things. And then you learn the standards. And if you keep on practicing and playing, in one point, you can step out of this standards. You can step out and try, or you will express yourself through the instrument. So you will speak through the instrument. You don't have to follow. You don't have to follow some rules and regulations anymore, because you can play free. It's like if you play chess, you know, this music, chess music. Who plays chess? They're free of standards. They can express themselves through the instruments. They start with a particular theme, and then they break off. Everyone goes in their own direction. And then at one point they start to communicate with each other through the instruments. And it's kind of a conversation. The drum plays with the guitar, and they're playing with each other. And everybody, sometimes they go in their own direction. And then at one point they come all together again and play in the original theme again. So they can express themselves through the instruments. So what the devotees is trying to do is that he, through his devotional service, he tried to express his love for Krishna. And every one of us is unique. Every one of us has a unique instrument. And this is above all the standards of puchari or preacher or cook or whatever it is, because this is deep inside. This is your expression. That's your relationship, what you have with Krishna. And this is unique. Nobody can take this. Because when we, on external standard services, let's say puchari, you puchari, then you always a priest on the altar. Then you always kind of think, okay, who is better than me? Who can trust the deity better than me? Right? Or I'm the best puchari, I'm the best cook. Right? But this is all external, and it's all based still on ego, because I identify myself as a puchari. But internally, I may have a completely different relationship with the Lord. And this nobody can compete with that with me, because that's so unique. That's only Krishna and myself, I as soul, share with him. This is with the camera. Okay. So therefore, when we get initiated in this process of bhakti, or in the sampradaya, we get diksha initiation. We get initiation into a line which follows specific rules and regulations. Our Gaudiya Sampradaya, of course, we follow the rules given from our acharyas to us. And each Sampradaya has a defined goal. But in the end, all this, Murari, come here. In the end, all this, they are, first of all, the first concern is love for God, or let's say service, devotional service in a particular way. Now, this is done by our Diksha process. Our Diksha process basically initiates us in a line what basically more or less follow Pancharatika rules. And these rules are all rules or regulations laid down by the Shastras, by the Acharyas, to regulate our lives. If we would follow strictly Pancharatika rules, we would be, Prabhupada said, we would be busy the whole day. We would not come out of the bathroom for Mangaladi if we would follow all this, what some Sri Sampradaya, what they follow, for example, the Smarta Brahmanas. This everything is regulated. Everything is a yagya. Everything is a ceremony. Even to make a knot in your sikha, it's a yagya, because I think Amara one time explained it to me. When after you take a shower, you make a knot in your sikha, then a drop of water comes out, right? Did you recognize this? When you make a knot in your sikha, you tie it, then a drop of water comes out of your sikha, and this drop of water should fall on your heel of your foot. And this is a regulative process. It's like a yagya. It's like a process. What you do, and there are many of these processes. What keeps us consciousness and makes us more aware of that everything is significant. Nothing actually what we do is insignificant, has no meaning. That's our conception of reality. I just do it because I do it. It has no meaning. No, every action what we do, what we give out to the world, has a reaction. When we would act in this way, we would be much more conscious. Right? Nothing what we give out is without any reaction what comes back in a certain way. Smaller or bigger. But these regulations, they should make us conscious. And this is what Prabhupada always say, first become conscious and then Krishna conscious, yeah. So this is done by the Diksha initiation. We coming into this process. Therefore, sometimes when people come to a temple, especially a place like here, it's kind of complicated. I cannot step here, I cannot walk here, I cannot wear this, I cannot eat with this hand. Why there's no toilet paper? Nowadays, in Krishna temples, there are toilet papers. In the time when I joined, there was like, how dare you ask for toilet paper? Can you imagine? Yeah, so this is kind of confusing, right? But it all keeps us to be conscious of our actions, of our environment, of our dealings. Now, if we want to enter into spontaneous devotional service, it's not done by Diksha. It has to come through Shiksha. And it's not that I just go to somebody and say, okay, initiate me in spontaneous devotional service. Because first of all, it has to come from an inspiration. I as a soul has to recognize in somebody else something what I really want. This is how it actually function, you see a devotee, and because of his characteristics, of his behavior with other devotees, of his softness of heart, what you can perceive when he comes in contact with Krishna, how he reacts. His softness of heart is how he reacts, and does he become emotional when he comes in contact with Krishna? Maybe does some symptoms manifest in him? Come tears to his eyes when he comes in contact with Krishna. And mostly how soft he is when he deals with other devotees. And his practice, his steadiness, how steady is he in his devotional practice? Does he does it every day, or does it just when he wants it? Because spontaneous devotional service doesn't mean you do just whenever you want it. Actually, those devotees are very, very regulated. Why? Because they regulate themselves from inside. It's not that outside rules regulate them. No, there are different rules inside them who regulate them. Right? And when you see such a person, you automatically get inspired. And the next step is that you say, Prabhu, or Prabhi, whatever, It doesn't also, depending on a specific gender, doesn't mean it can be only a man. No? So, when we see such a person, we automatically want to know, what's your process? What's the secret? What process do you follow? What is your meditation? What are your secret mantras? What do you use to worship Krishna? Right? And when this person sees your sincerity, that's not something what you can do with one conversation. That's not you come to somebody and say, Prabhu or Mataji, whatever, please give me your secrets. Does it work like that? What you would say, Narayani, when somebody comes to you and say, tell me what's in your heart. No way, or? No way. Maybe to protect yourself, you maybe would say some I don't know, something, would say, yeah, Krishna is in my heart. Okay. But how and what form he has, how you worship him, how you see him, that you would not tell that person. But if somebody comes to you who's very close to you, like Nityananda Priya, right? When she comes, you would reveal everything to her. Or? Yeah. So that is, first of all, we have to establish a relationship. And this is what we always see in the scriptures. When somebody meets a guru, what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what he should do? Serve and inquire submissively. You first have to establish a relationship. And this you do through service. If a teacher in Charu's school sees that Charu is very determined to learn all the grammatical rules, dative, accusative, it's our theme now at the moment. I thought it's behind me. No, it comes all back again. Well, it was. Yeah, so if a teacher sees that the student is very submissive and really, really want to have it, then he becomes compassionate. And he goes over the rules and regulations. Sometimes even he lowers the standard just to encourage him. But if somebody sees, this person is actually not very interested, why the teacher should become somehow compassionate, should lower the standard or make some adjustments. Right? So now this is actually why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to adjust in this age of Kali, to give us something what is very, very rare. But don't be surprised, many people, even to come in contact with Krishna consciousness, they go never above the philosophical level. They never go above the rules and regulations or this understanding of jnana, what is condemned here by Mahaprabhu. This concept of speculation, because it has so much to do with jnana. You know, I just speculate something and because it makes me very learned. But this is part of it. And many people will stuck exactly there. They're attracted by the philosophy. And it's very good. See how much already we achieved in the world by people knowing about the rules of karma. Hey, you can go anywhere and tell people something about karma, and to some extent they know what it means. Or when you tell people on the street this book is about karma, means, oh yeah, I know about karma. No, you don't. You just think what somebody does to me, he gets back. But think a step further. What I do to somebody, it also comes back to me. Most people want to see this aspect of karma. And much more intricate that we all link with each other. Right? That's also an aspect of karma. Anyway, so many people, or vegetarianism, when you eat only plants, what do you call it? Vegetarianism, yes. So it's kind of, nowadays, if you're not vegan, you're already not woke enough, or you have to be vegan nowadays. How you can be just vegetarian, right? So it all comes from that preaching. It comes, some bold devotees would say it becomes of the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, all this philosophy. Many so-called spiritualists nowadays, they know, okay, we're not this body, we are the soul in the body, right? Although they still say, my soul feels like this, or, it's again, who are the one who owns the soul then? Makes no sense. But this concept somehow other sneaks in. And many people get attracted by such principles. But to go deeper, you have to ask for it. And exactly on this point is where we come in. We come together, we come in contact with all of this knowledge, with this far out philosophy. Who can beat our philosophy? We basically can answer any single question. Or, Muni, if somebody asks you on the street about some weird thing, like standard things, why bad things happen to good people? Devotee easily, even a new devotee, easily brings out some relevant answers for this person. This philosophy is so amazing. But to go beyond the philosophy, we have to ask for it. And we really, really have to beg for it. And we cannot just ask Krishna for it. Because Krishna will not even give it. Whom do we have to ask? Which guru? Yeah, what means a pure devotee? Yes, but how do I when I want this, whom do I ask? I want something. Whom can I ask? If I want to have apples, whom can I ask for apples? Who has apples? Right? Somebody who has it, what I want. And from whom does he get it? Who gives devotional service? Only Radharani. Because Krishna knows when I give devotional service, this person owns me. If I give myself to somebody, or let's say somebody gives me a gift, what happens? Huh? Yes, he has some possession of me. He gave me a gift, but in the same time, I feel obliged to give something back. So this brings me in a dependency, right? And, if this is a person I love, it's very easy to give something back. But what happens from a person you don't love, you even maybe don't even know? How you feel? A little bit awkward, or? You feel what this person wants from me, right? Although you kind of flattered in one sense, you feel kind of, okay, that's nice, but what's the point? Why this person give me something? And Krishna knows when somebody renders him devotional service, he is obliged. This person owns him. And therefore, he is not so eager to give it out. But only when Radharani comes and says, Krishna, please give devotional service to this and that soul, then he gives it. Because Radharani says it. So therefore Mahaprabhu, he took the form of Radharani to be able to give devotional service, to give this gift to mankind. And he gives this gift, basically, he throws pearls in front of swines. Werden für die Säue geworfen. Because people in Kali Yuga, they can't, they will not appreciate. They don't appreciate devotional service, pure devotional service. Therefore, it's hidden in philosophy. Therefore, Prabhupada very cleverly puts it in philosophy, and this philosophy alone liberates them. That gives them so much understanding already. But if we really want a devotional service, we have to be eager. We have to ask for it. We have to ask, we have to find somebody who has it. And there are many devotees who have it. But because of ego, we can't see it. We can't see it because we don't allow somebody to have something what we don't have. Our ego doesn't. You know, the story of the Malaysian frogs. You know the story of the Malaysian frogs? There were once French people. What French people like to eat the most? What they put on the baguette? Huh? What? Yeah, frogs. Frog legs. Froschschenkel. I mean, I don't know if it's a myth. I never saw French people eating. Somebody saw people eating frosch legs? I know, okay. Let's say it is like that. So, the French people, they made an inquiry in the world asking for frogs. They want to buy frogs. And so from different countries, they got different offers of frogs. And then there was one offer what was extremely cheap. And this offer came from Malaysia. I don't know where from Malaysia, but that's the story. And then the French people asked this Malaysian people, why your frogs are so cheap? Because they said, we spare on the boxes. Our boxes, they don't need a lid to cover them. Now, but how we can sell frogs without a lid on the boxes? Because the frogs will climb out. I say, no. Our frogs are trained like that. If any frog want to crawl out of the box, the other frogs come and pull him back in. Understand? So that's sometimes our mentality. We see somebody who maybe has something what we don't have. Because I don't have it, he cannot have it. And therefore, I make sure that this person is known everywhere else as whatever. We make sure that he doesn't crawl out of the box. Because this is the envy in our heart, what we carry with us. And therefore, we will not get it. Because we will not even see who has something. And when we see somebody has something what I don't have, then I throw with the hammer on it. Right? So if we really want to have that treasure of devotional service, we really, really have to ask for it. And we really, really have to look for it. And if Radharani, if Mahaprabhu sees our sincere endeavor and our willingness to give up our pride and envy and really become humble, then we will get it. And it's not so easy, because nowadays we in our preaching mission, it's not so easy for us to give up our pride and our ego. Because in order to preach and to make many devotees, we have to be somebody. Right? We want to be known as a strong preacher, as a strong renunciant who can impress so many other people. And because I'm so impressive, people will join. It happened to Srila Prabhupada. But it's not our motivation. Prabhupada came and did this because he wanted to please his guru. We just want to be pleasing to ourselves. Most of the time. And sometimes I think personally, souls trapped in a female body in ISKCON, it's much more easier for them to surrender. Because they're naturally deflated. Because they hear, and women and this and that, and they have to deal with that. If you would tell the same things to men, to boys, they would leave immediately. Because the ego gets so devastated, when you hear all this stuff, and sometimes you think, oh my goodness, whatever, but we as men, we sometimes very easily very proud of our position, of our whatever we carry with us. And we are the main preacher, and see, we bring all these devotees. Prabhupada was not like that. He encouraged devotees like Yamuna, Malati, or he gave so much. He is like a grandfather. He doesn't care. Is it the boy? Is it the girl? He gives affection to everybody. All right? But nowadays we try to limit it and say, like different things where we say, no, it was not like that. And Prabhupada never want to give second initiation to ladies. How you know? Why he didn't? Do you think Prabhupada was, how he called himself, henchbacked man who was under there because the Mataji's, they demanded, Govinda Dasi is said because he was the first one. He said, Prabhupada, he wanted, we also want to have, and therefore he gave it because they demanded it. Do you think Prabhupada is so easy to get? No. He knew it comes from different direction. The mercy comes from every direction. And love of God is in the heart, is not, it doesn't matter if it's a male heart or a female heart. So just that's a side thought of myself, what I keep on thinking, that it's so difficult because we as men, we trained like that. We have to be somebody, we have to be in the world, we have to kind of, walk and march and conquer, And we bring this in devotional service. But the beauty of devotional service is to be insignificant, much more insignificant than like an ant. There's so many great souls living in Radhakund or living in this holy places. They do the whole time devotional service. Nobody knows. Yeah, but of course we want to spread the holy name. We want to spread this mission. Therefore we go in the street and distributing these books. And those devotees who do this, all glories to them. But they still assisting Prabhupada in his mission. Right? And this is our mission. Therefore our books so important. And therefore this is the basis. Because this is the basis of our preaching. And this contains everything. As Bhagavad Gita contains all the philosophy, Chaitanya Caritamrita goes much more far beyond the philosophy and goes much deeper into the heart of devotional service. And this is the life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. These are some thoughts what I had on this. I don't know if they're relevant to you or whatever. They're relevant to me because I'm still a construction ground of devotion. I'm still full of pride and envy, and I have no good qualities. But in association with you all, I know that all these bad qualities will be cleaned out one day. And one day I really can serve you without any attachment of, what do you say in class? Is it relevant for them, what I say in class? I want to impress them. I want to inspire them. I want that they think I'm a great speaker. One day this will be gone. And I'm praying for this moment that I really can serve you all and the Singadev and Srila Prabhupada with the essence of my heart, with all my love. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any ideas how I can do that? Please share. What is behind me? Some monkey just jumped behind me. Okay. Then thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. And what? Oh, I didn't see your hand. Sorry.
Thank you for the class. I wanted to ask you, so you bring out a very interesting point of having, we want to give to the people, to spread whatever, this beauty of devotional service, and for this we may, especially at the beginning, we may bring out some ego to go out and be so bold about what the treasure that we have. But on one side, it may also bring out this anarthas, or like this bad things that we already had from before, yeah. So it doesn't really maybe help us immediately to develop some humility. You get what I mean?
No, because it's with the translation. Either maybe come a little bit closer, or you make the microphone louder since you have a microphone.
You hear me more now?
So it's good.
Okay.
I'm also old, my ears.
Okay. So I repeat from the beginning. So you bring out this point of that sometime we because we would like to give out also what we received, the beauty of devotional service, then we have to be quite bold also, and be steady on the preaching. So this also may be at the beginning seen, or like because we need to bring out this side, that there's some ego involved into it, and then like it seems that it's almost opposite to developing humility instead. Yeah. So, but on the other side, we can see it's a beautiful way and how to test where are we in our development of our humility, and we can immediately see whether, we develop some pride. For example, book distribution. What are your consideration in how one can become more? Because most of the time we're not. It's difficult to become aware of such of ego coming out. Yeah. So, what do you have some consideration on that?
Well, I think the best way is still going on the street and distributing books, because we can compare to any other service. But just say with it, distributing books, we really see where we are, because we immediately come to our ego platform, because people, they respond to our ego. And when there's ego, we face ego. And on top of it, it's not about what we say on the street. On the street, there's no time for convincing the people philosophically, unless they come with a question. But on the street, it's really just, okay, give them a book, give them the entrance, give them the key to the door, and let them open the door themselves when they're ready. We don't make devotees. Prabhupada make the devotees. We just giving them the key for the lock, and if they're ready, they can use this key and open the door by their own free will. Everybody comes to devotional service because of own free will. Nobody is preached into devotional service. We may inspire somebody to use the key, but our inspiration doesn't come from our speak necessarily. It comes from our own heart, from our own way how we live. It's our own conviction and how we fixed in this lifestyle what we try to advertise in this moment when we preach. It's such a word, preaching. This is like we just advertising a lifestyle. And if I'm not, if I look morose, then who will join? And on top of it, I may learn so many things of philosophy, far out things one can extract out of our philosophy, out of a simple book like Bhagavad Gita, one can extract far out things, life hacks and so many things. But if this is the basis of my preaching, this is the basis where I identify myself as a great spiritual philosopher, Krishna will take away the results. Maybe he never give it. So I may preach to all kinds of people, but none is a devotee. No one becomes a devotee. We had experience. We had one program, for example, I remember we had a program in Bergen of Rügen. It was kind of a preacher program when we were brahmacharis. And there was one boy. He came with his girlfriend. Was already, oh God, he has a girlfriend. And the girlfriend brought another girlfriend. And then we had the whole program. There was kind of the only two interesting guests. Some elder people came and whatever. But everybody was thinking, wow, if this boy joins, a group of brahmacharis, thinking, he should join. Right? So everything was molded around him. Everybody was attending him and his needs. And he had questions and everybody tried to explain and whatever. And in the end, he left with his girlfriend. But the girlfriend of the girlfriend asked, so where do I get the beads now? Nobody cared about her. She was not at all a target. But she got it. So, who preached to her? Nobody. But out of her own decision and out of her conviction. And that she could see behind the ego. Because nobody was like, in front of her, whatever, No ego was target onto her. So she could understand the essence. So that's the point. We may have so much philosophy, so much understanding. We could give so much important classes, but who cares? If my heart is not pure, that I make a devotee. Maybe I can philosophically convince people. If I go in an assembly of great learned scholars in Oxford University, they may also, well, that's very interesting points. But none of them start chanting, become vegetarian, or to change his life. So maybe we make a step forward in academic circles, but if we don't touch people's hearts, what's the point? It's still good. It's not that it's not good, and we should go into academic circles. Our guru, does it, and your guru as well. So it's good because then we get recognized there, our philosophy, and that's very, very important because students will come and get also input from there. But to change a people's heart needs something else. That means our heart has to be changed. And this happens only when Krishna takes the results away, takes the ego away. Okay? Does it make sense? So was this a question or you just want to go? Huh? No, good, okay. Okay, Grandaraj, Sri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.